Well, my friends, how you all doing? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a brand new episode of our city zoo build, Tropical Wings Zoo. So last episode, my friends, is linked above for you right now, but we are back in TW after a 2-week break. And when I take breaks of that length, it usually means I've been working on something pretty insane. Now, this episode, if you are watching it at the time of its release, is being premiered. I'm sitting in on the chat having a little chinwag with you all, my friends. And the reason for that is this is an absolutely massive episode. I finally got round to doing Komodo Kingdom. So, without further ado, let's jump in and take a look. So here we are at the entrance of Tropical Wings Zoo. Obviously, I've just given it away in the little intro there that we are going to be looking at Komodo Kingdom. It is our brand new Komodo Dragon complex. I said I was going to do something really cool, really unique, and the members of the Discord have been watching me kind of do this over the last 2 weeks on and off. It hasn't actually taken me 2 weeks to do it. I've just kind of had to be jumping in and jumping out of Planet Zoo. Lots going on in real life, you know. These things happen, don't they? But I have finally got this finished, and it's now time to show this off to you all, gang. So, I've not really been working on too much else. I did start the croc house. If you can hear any noise in the background, I do apologise. Emily is absolutely on one. She's had a milkshake, so she's got a bit of a sugar rush. Yeah, I started the croc house. It doesn't look like much, gang, but yeah, I started this, then I started trying to put pools in. It didn't work how I wanted. I gave up, and then I thought, you know what, I'm going to do something else. But you can see the nuts and bolts. You can kind of see the look I'm going for, maybe. That's coming. That's something coming soon. Other than that, though, I haven't really done that much. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't get around to doing the plant in nearly a carpies. Reason for that is, as you can see off in the distance, I've been working on an absolute monster of a build. So I don't really know what the best way to take you is. I think we'll just go up this way as if we're going up towards Indo-Asia, as it is a big part of that part of the zoo. Now, I'm going to stop here, gang. I'm just going to say from the off, there's a couple of bits that are not finished. And the reason they're not finished is because they will encroach on probably what I'm going to be working on in the future. There are going to be animals nearby. There are going to be shops nearby. There's going to be, you know, a restaurant sort of complex. Not a restaurant, but like a pit stop kind of food complex going to be nearby. And because I haven't done that now, I've had to just leave bits a bit blank so they don't look that great, but the majority of it really is done. The only bit that isn't done where the Komodo Dragon habitat is concerned is the backlot areas, and the reason again for that is because they're going to be rather close to what we're going to be doing in the future. You will have probably seen on the channel, I basically did a little video talking about the new DLC that's coming. I'll link that above for you, my friends, in case you've missed it, but we do have a wetlands pack coming, and there's an animal in there that I think is going to be perfect for this part of the zoo, and when we get to the what's happening next, I am going to touch upon that, and it's probably going to be an animal that we maybe do in the not too distant future. I'm going to be honest, but I'm going to just stop here a minute. When I talked about the Komodo Dragons, when I talked about doing them, I said I was going to put it up on a hill. I said I wanted there to be a winding path to go up. I've managed to achieve all that. I don't know how, because I'm really not that great with the terrain tools, but I've managed to do it, and I've actually managed to, in my opinion, I've managed to make it look rather nice as well. Made it look rather neat. I've gone with a very different kind of technique to anything that I've used, but I think it really, really looks nice in this area. And the reason I've stopped here as well is this is kind of like your first sight lines. What's really unique about the Indo-Asia area is obviously we have our access gates either side here. We're left with this big kind of opening, aren't we? Where you kind of just enter. You know, this is kind of the entrance into Indo-Asia. There's no special arches or anything like that. This is just it. You kind of enter the area. Nice bit of seating here. You get your little wayfinders. You know, there's numerous ones that are going to tell you where to go. You've got a seating area over there, and then you've got your first house. You've got your first animal over here, and it all kind of just opens up, and that's what I love about it. But what's really cool about it now is not only do you just see this, but you see this big complex over in the distance. And just look at that sightline with the high-rise buildings in the distance as well. I think this just is genuinely, some of the sight lines here has become one of my favourite parts to just take pictures in the zoo, because I feel like, especially once we build all the areas up that I was talking about, it is going to look magnificent when we finish all the surrounding areas as well. But it is a sight. It is a sight to behold. So let's just walk up this way, gang. Now, as a result of doing the Komodo Dragon hab, I have actually finished off, a lot of this flooring and stuff around the edge, and I've kind of had to, basically, because now we know where all the planters and the ways the path are going to go and whatnot. Now, as you can see, it's rather high up on the hill, and so I had to disguise the horrible edges that you get when you raise the terrain to such a degree. We've raised this a hell of a lot. I think when I mapped it out, it was about 6 meters, so that's quite a big jump. Or it might have been 5, and then with the wall on top, it's 6 meters, something along those lines, anyway. But it is quite a big jump up in the air. Now, obviously, we were left with these really ugly sight lines, really ugly kind of edges to the terrain, basically. So I had to try and think of a way to disguise it. Now, I didn't just want to throw some concrete or throw some plaster there. I wanted to try and do something a bit different. Now, I see this a fair amount, where you get these meshes, and then inside it's stuffed with rock, basically. You can make these rock walls that are made up of mesh. And I thought this would be quite a cool way to do this. Now, we've used rather large rock and stone, but with the wall on top, I really think it looks quite nice. And then when you start putting all your planting in front as well, it really comes together, doesn't it? Look at the way that all blends in. I think it looks really cool. Now, I'm showing you all this first. We'll come to the Komodo hab in a moment, but obviously I like to talk you through kind of like my reasons for doing things, and and things like that. But yeah, that was kind of just really to disguise. And then up on top, I managed to do like a nice little seated area, which I'll show you in a minute. Now, we're obviously going to have a piece of path going off this way, and this is really going to be your way that you're going to take to view a potential animal in the future that I'll talk about when we come to our what's happening next part of today's episode. And also, this is going to be the way that's going to take you off into the Indian elephants, because they are going to be over sort of in this direction, aren't they? So this pathway here, you're gonna, it's going to come off this way, but it is also going to come off, and your Indian elephants are going to have this big hab over here. So that's probably the way you're going to take from here to go and see the elephants, basically. And then if we look this way, over there, this is the beginning of the stairs, the winding staircase, and I'll show you it all in its in all its glory in a moment. And then I've just had a little bit of floor in there that I've missed. That's annoying, that's going to bug me. But as you can see, I've kind of finished all of this off now properly. I put in some more seating near the Babarusa, and then we just did some nice planting. We've had to come round this way because I've had to do the wheelchair access separate to the stairs. It's just the nature of the beast, unfortunately. It was quite a task getting the pathway to go up the way I wanted it to anyway. And then if you were to continue to go off this way, then you would go off to where the Okapi are. So that just gives you some context as to kind of where we are. As you can see, there is a bit of a level change, so I've used the stairs and the wheelchair access, but I need to do all this. Now, this little space here, you all dropped me some amazing comments in last episode with what to do there. Some people were suggesting, some aviaries and, a little bit of seating, maybe a nice little planted area. And I genuinely think I'm probably going to do a mixture of a lot of the things that you suggested. I think a couple of aviaries in here might be quite nice. If we just do a little bit of seating, we build up like a sound barrier of planting here, because they are a shy animal. Lots of people were saying, are you sure you want to put seating in there with the restaurant area because of the noise? But if you're actually thinking about the distance, the restaurants are probably going to go over here. I'm going to talk about all that towards the end of today's episode. That's all going to be over here with the majority of the seating in this area. And then over here, we were just going to have some overflow seating. It weren't going to be anything, huge. And then we could put maybe some aviaries, in here, and then just fill out with planting and just do like a nice little pathed area basically in there, something that looks very similar to maybe what we've got over here, and what we've got over in our first and only aviary in the zoo to this point. I did put all the fencing in. I wanted to do that just to kind of mark out this area. And that fencing's actually made a big change to this area, because now this isn't open so much. It's really kind of like shaded all that off, and it's made it feel a little bit more private than it did at the beginning. This is a real favourite of mine, this hab. I absolutely love it. I think it is just absolutely bang on, everything that I wanted it to be. And you get an even better view of this from the top of the hill, believe it or not. It's really, really cool, the difference that this has made. So we've added in some more planters as a result, some more seating, and it's really come together nice. So what I'm going to do now is just zoom out on this and kind of explain the whole lot first, and then we'll take a good look at it. Now, as you can see, left and right, you'll see the ugliness I was talking about. I'm talking about this area here, this area here, this as well. Now, all of this either side isn't finished, and that's the reason because of what I was saying. I'm not sure if I'm going to take this back a bit further. This side I'm definitely not, because we're going to take this path down, and the path's actually going to come around the back, and there's going to be a viewing area to an animal over there. But because of the way that I've decorated the back of this, you don't really, you're not encroaching on the animals. You don't really notice, to be honest with you. It's been done in quite a nice way. So there's going to be like a little viewing area. This level here is a potential level that I'm going to take the majority of the zoo to. I want to come up a level. Again, I think we need some height in the zoo. A lot of it is on just one level. So it's not as high as this hill, but it is a little higher. So that's why that's the way it is. But yeah, they're the ugly bits I was talking about, but they'll all get tidied up in time, basically. So there's your staircase that winds up. You've got your wheelchair access there. It's purely decorative, the wheelchair access, I will say that. The stairs work. It's very, very nice. And then I'm probably going to have to put another staircase over here, but I'm not going to do this winding staircase. It'll probably just be one that just goes, straight down, basically, because that's going to be more of an exit and this is more of an entrance. It depends what way the guest decides to walk around the zoo, though, because there's no set way. You can walk around anti-clockwise or clockwise, and it'll have the same effect. You'll just see different animals, in a different order, basically. And then as far as the actual hab itself, you've got the little seated area, by the way. That's what I was talking about there. This is another one of those donation stations. And then, as far as the hab itself is concerned, we've got an indoor area here, indoor area here. This is actually keeper access. This is keeper access. This is a holding area, and this is an outdoor area, which would get used, but for the UK, because we have such limited, sunshine and nice weather, warmer weather, this is more for the sort of late spring, summer time that the zoo would choose to use this. Now, all of this would have access to the outside, but because of the way that I've built it, technically only this side has access. But it's been built to show that both would have. So basically, this is one hab, this is a second hab over here. And I've basically done that because I wanted keeper access both sides. It just made more sense. What I've done is I've got two female Komodos here, and the big male is in this side. Basically, the male, a lot of the time, if you're thinking about it from a realistic standpoint, the male is separated from the females. He's a lot bigger. They're an aggressive animal. They will fight, and so the females have been kept separate. Zoos tend to find that they can keep females together, and then they just mix the males and the females as and when they might want to, breed the animals. Big conservation efforts are being made by lots of zoos all around the world. So let's take a look at the habitat in a bit more detail. So first and foremost, the staircase. I know it's just a staircase, but I am really proud of the way this staircase turned out. Now, I did initially do it with all walls all the way up, but it went a bit clunky, like the access over here. Now, this will change. This will disappear, all of this. You probably won't notice a lot of it. once I do some planting up here, and once all of these shops and restaurants and planting and all that goes on down here, it will disappear. But the trouble is, it didn't really disappear here with the planting. So what I decided to do was I've walled it at the beginnings of the stairs with the railings going up. And then I've just kind of like put it so that these railings are kind of like connected to the wall. And then I've done it to a point. And then we've just gone with the same sort of stone design that we've been doing around the edges of the majority of the path, basically. We've just come up, and then the railings then have kind of followed suit. If you want to make these railings, by the way, there is a piece for the fan that came in the European pack, and it's basically the connecting piece from the fan that goes into the ceiling. It's just a little steel rod, but I have found that it makes very, very nice railings, realistic railings as well, that are nice and thin, and I think it looks really, really nice. So yeah, feel free to maybe give that a go. It's a really, really cool piece, and it's actually a really kind of it's one of those pieces you'll find a use for a lot, you know, for different bits of detailing and different bits of the zoo that you might want to do, whatever project you're working on. So we make our way up the stairs. You go all the way up, you know, turn the corner. This is exactly how I wanted it, exactly how I wanted it. And then we come up to this point, and then we are up to the top, my friends. And you're met with this little seated area first, but you're kind of met with a really, really nice view of Indo-Asia. And to be honest, a really nice view of the zoo from here. You really are. You know, you've got your sun bears over here. You know, on a good day, you might even see your sun bear in the hammock over there. You know, you've got your the house over here. You've got your babarusa here. Binturong, the animal's name, it evaded me then, but the Binturong house there, your babarusu there, and then obviously you can't see the okapi, but if you look into the distance there, that's the chimpanzee's climbing frame. It's so nice how that opening is kind of there. That's just happened. That is not planned. That is not planned by me. That has just happened. And I like the way you can see the Aldabra house there as well. It's just a really nice view, isn't it? Really nice look at the zoo right there. And then there's another particularly nice view if you walk around this way. When you get the skyline in, there's just so many lovely like little looks at, you know, the zoo and looking off into the distance from here. I really, really love it. And then if you turn around, gang, you are met with the main attraction. You are met with what you scour the stairs for, and it is Komodo Kingdom. Now, the plan is eventually to put a sign in here, Komodo Kingdom sign. I started making it, and then I messed it up a little bit, and then, yeah, I need to start again. So I didn't get it done for today's episode, but it will be done in future, and it's going to be a nice little sign, basically, there for Komodo Kingdom. And essentially, you know, this is your way in. You get to view the indoor areas, and what's nice about it is that we've got sections that are covered, and then obviously you've got your bit at the back that isn't. If I just show you this from the bird's eye view, this is exactly what it looks like. So this is a really, really strange shaped building. I'm going to throw it out there. This is inspired by San Diego Zoo's new Komodo Kingdom. It's not a replica. It's you know, it's a very similar shape, but it's just inspired. Theirs is very different, the way they've decorated the walls, the way they've decorated their little bit inside, and theirs goes off and joins like a hummingbird experience as well. Theirs is a lot more maybe complex than this, but I feel like I've done a pretty decent job. I've just noticed there's bits missing. Since I've saved it last, they seem to have disappeared. That's very annoying. I'm going to have to just fill them back in. But yeah, anyway. The windows were a nightmare. The roof was the biggest nightmare of it all. I had long discussions on Discord with a few people about the roof, and one person was like, oh, I think something, you know, dome-shaped would be really nice. I attempted it. My God, because of the shape of the building, it was impossible. So I had no choice but to go with a flat roof. I didn't really want to do that because I wanted to give it some shape, but I actually think that, all things considered, because I did a double lip, I think it saved it, and I think we get away with it a little bit. And then the window design, when you look at it from the inside, it looks gorgeous, so I quite like it. But yeah, that's kind of the covered area. So What I'll do is I'll save that bit for in a moment, but I'll just show you the backstage stuff as well. So this is the backlot area. So basically how it works both sides is there is a keeper entrance basically to both sides. So if the keeper was to go in this way, he goes to the holding area. Now I've not decorated inside here yet. I need to sort this out. This is one of those things that is still a job to do because it's a backlot thing. Now I think I can get away with it a bit more and just kind of go back and do it as and when. And then if he was to go this way, he goes into the habitat. And the same happens the other side. So as you can see, there's the door. The keeper goes in here. What I plan to do is have like a sink and like a prep area and things like that in here. I think it will look really, really cool. And then we go this way to go into the hab. And then we go this way to go to the outdoor area, basically. That's how it works. That's essentially how it works, gang. You don't necessarily need a holding area for your reptiles in the zoos because with a lot of these reptiles, they just stay on habitat. But because of, you know, the risk of injury or if an animal needs quarantining or whatever, they have their own, you know, they've got their basically their own facility to be able to keep the Komodo here rather than having to transport the Komodo all the way over to our quarantine, you know, facility that we're going to build over here. And we're also going to build one towards the back of the zoo when we do our big veterinary complex. But yeah, they've actually got their own kind of ability to be able to do it, and also to kind of separate animals if they ever need to. They've got a building to be able to do that, basically. So that's what that is. But yeah, that's the backstage area. And the reason this side as well has got doors that go straight into the holding complex is this is just kind of like an access door to transport animals in and out quicker. You can get your bigger crates in a double door than you obviously could this way, and that's just my thinking. And obviously I get all my ideas from reading lots of stuff on the animals and you know, looking at plenty of pictures, doing the research, and then coming up with the ideas, basically. As you can see though, the windows, the way they wrap around the building, I think is just bang on. I absolutely love it. I really, really do. So yeah, that's the backlot stuff. So this is the entrance, my friends, to the Komodo Kingdom. I need to do lights around the edge. I do definitely think that's going to need to be done. I think that'll be a nice addition, but I have done the lights in here. I've done some lighting on the floor as well. I do think it looks quite nice if I just show you basically what it looks like once we take all the lights, take it down to night time. I think some lights here in front of these rocks might be nice as well, but I think it's lit up really, really nicely, really tastefully kind of lit up in this area. I know the zoos aren't really open at night, but the lighting's there anyway for keepers and whatnot in the winter months when they are, you know, on the complex having to work with the animals in the colder months. So yeah, if we just walk in this way, gang. So what I plan to do is kind of like a welcome to Komodo Kingdom kind of message on this one, in you know, kind of like what you're looking at. And then at the back, we're going to do, you know, some facts on Komodo dragons. We're going to have an educational kind of board here, and then I am considering adding maybe a couple of more, maybe one on the wall here, one on the wall here, basically just a bit more education. I can't really add it at the bottom because I've made these steps for the kiddos, basically. That's essentially what these are for. You know, your smaller humans, basically, if they need to be able to look inside, there's a couple of steps where they can jump up. This is waist height on the adults, basically, so it's a really nice height for the adults to be able to look in, but for some of the smaller children, they might just need a little help up. So as you've just seen, all the lighting and everything's all done. I didn't add these until the last minute, these little posts, but oh my god, they add so much. They really, really do. Just a tiny bit of detail can give you the greatest effect ever. So we'll work around basically in a circle first, and I'll show you what it looks like from kind of like a guest perspective, and then I'll jump inside and show you what the habs look like on the inside. So this is the male's side. This is basically how his side looks. It is maybe, I think this one is slightly smaller. It's difficult to tell. I think They were similar in size when I built them, but obviously as you start to pack the insides out with all of the decoration and whatnot, you kind of do lose a bit of size on the insides. Nice little water pool in the middle, and he's over the back, but we'll take a good look at that in a moment. But yeah, as you can see, it's got that real nice kind of tropically kind of jungle feel in there. I know that the island they live on, you know, there's open grasslands as well as more sort of dense tropical areas. So I thought it was nice that the outdoor area we left a bit more spacious, but the indoor area we really kind of built it up and added lots and lots of detail. There are some like little caves and whatnot in here, little cubby holes and stuff, but I'll show you all that in a moment, my friends. So if we just carry on working around this way, I wanted to do something a little different with the outdoor viewing area on this. And so I've kind of built up these nice wooden walls and whatnot. And when I first built them, they just felt a little plain. So I then added the education balls, and I was like, still a bit plain. So I just built these nice little like trellis designs. We put some nice ivy on there, and then I put some planters in the top and just added these beautiful plants that kind of like all hang over. And I just think that is just such a nice look, a really, really nice look. And then we worked our way over here. Again, another little step for the kiddos in case they can't see over the ledge. And then this is, your guest view. The glass is all cracked, which is very, very annoying. Drives me mad, that. But the mechanic obviously hasn't been and had a look. But yeah, you can kind of see what I mean about it being slightly more open. Obviously, there's plants and whatnot all scattered around. And we will jump in there in a moment and take a good look at what it looks like. As you can see, one of the girls is outside, which is good to see. Nice to see them using the outdoor area. And then we come this way and we just kind of complete it. Work around this way, gang, and you'll get to see this, like a nice little planter in here. Just added a nice bit of bamboo and some planting and whatnot. And then we work our way around this way. And again, this is their indoor area. And this is what I was saying. It does look a bit bigger, doesn't it, this side? But there's two animals over here. So we maybe needed a bit more space. The design is very different as well. And you'll see one of the girls enjoying the indoors. So, my friends, we need to just jump in to the male side first and show this off so you can see what it looks like, my friends. And this is kind of what we are dealing with. So the way I built this, just so you know, in case you want to know, if you need the ideas, if you're looking for doing something a bit different, is I used all of the fake tree trunks and logs and all that sort of stuff. I used them and I build walls out of them basically, so you get this nice design. Just change the colour up, and then what I've done is the wall, so the back wall there, I've then used a plaster piece, a long plaster piece width between that and the front. To build the initial wall, and then I've used mud, and I've basically just taken the mud and I've kind of like worked all weird little angles. It's really hard to show you now the roof's on, but yeah, just worked all these weird little angles basically, and then we just put some mulch in, and then we just sunk all of our plants into the mulch, and that's how you get that lovely kind of jungly look above. With all the plants all there and all overhanging and whatnot. And then I just added some logs, added some plants in, on the fake walls, and it just pops, and it just come together so nice. Mix in a few real rocks, and I think that you get a very, very nice looking habitat, basically. I really do. We've got the pool here. So what I did as well to achieve that is, if you're looking at the terrain, that's the actual ground level, but we took it up, gentle slope up, and then I took it out of the middle there and we sunk that in. So that ended up being very close to kind of like the level of this, and I think that worked nice from a viewing perspective basically, because you'll be able to see the animal using that as and when they do. And then these are the little caves I was talking about. We got one here, and then we got one over here. We've got some bedding and whatnot. The other thing I used is a lot of these vines. They added a lot of detail to the walls as well. They really made that pop. So yeah, we've got a little heat lamp on this side. And then as you can see, we've got your door to go outside. Now, what I am going to say about this habitat, and it's something that I think I need to be honest about, is I have used a mod to make this work. I've used the smaller hitbox mod. Basically, the hitboxes in the game determine the size that the door needs to be for the animal to navigate through the door. But the way Planet Zoo works is it isn't a simple front and back. They need to be able to turn inside the door. So if you're looking at the length of a Komodo, that's how big the door needed to be. And I didn't like that. It didn't look realistic, and it caused me a lot of problems. So I decided to download the Hitbox mod. It is amazing. It has completely changed the way that I can now build doors into habitats. I can make them so much smaller and they look so much more realistic. And I'm going to work my way around all the zoo and change all the doors up, because I can actually make a lot of them a lot smaller now. They're going to look a lot nicer. So if you are a builder like me and you're looking for realism, it is a mod I cannot recommend enough. I will put the link for the mod in the description below. You need to go to the Nexus website, make a little profile if you haven't got one, and you can just download it, my friends. It explains how to put the the files into the game. Just make sure you back up the original in case you have any problems, or like we're about to have a new update for the game very, very shortly. But yeah, it helped me build these very small doorways, and I absolutely love it, basically. I really, really do. And then this is the entranceway for our zookeepers. Now, I've put the gates closed just to show this off because it looks more realistic, but I'm actually going to have to open them so that the zookeepers can come in. They can't actually enter with that door shut. It's a bit annoying because, see this door here? They can clip through it. But the minute they enter a habitat, they can't clip through stuff anymore. I understand why they do that, because they want the zookeeper to walk around realistically rather than walk through rocks and whatnot. But it's just a bit annoying when you're working for realism, because the thing is, the minute I open this door, this chap can actually go in that room, which is, a little bit annoying. But yeah, that's the male side. As you can see, like a little air vent as well that goes up into the little vents that are on the roof and whatnot. So yeah, that's the guy's side. And then if we work over this way to the girl's side, it's very, very different. I wanted it to look different. I didn't want to just do a straight copy for both sides. As you can see, like the shape of the zookeeper access and where they enter and exit's a bit different. Actually added a few more like fake rocks and whatnot over here. And I've also kind of added this kind of like weird little, almost like fallen tree bridge type thing, which I think it's really cool, and it kind of adds a bit more detail over this side. But again, like over there, I just used that mud wall. I've used the mulch, planted all up around the edge, used that fake wall design. We've put another pool in over this side. It's a bit further back. As you can see, we've got the little cave areas front and back there. I need to put the bedding down. I haven't done that because I know it's going to mess the floor up and I'm going to have to rework all that. But yeah, I need to put all that down. And then as you can see, that's the doorway to the outdoor area, and that's our zookeeper access. So yeah, it's very similar. And then this is what I was saying about the roofs, the windows in the roof, and how beautiful they have come out. They do look very, very nice. I absolutely love them. I really, really do. Yeah, I really feel like the building has kind of come together really nicely. If I just take the lights down again for you, just so you can kind of see, it's very, very subtle. I'm going to apologise for any pixelization you got there, but for whatever reason, we get that with the glass when we take the lights down. But yeah, as you can see, look, the lighting, it's really subtle, but it does a nice job of lighting the hab up the way I wanted it to. I didn't want it to be, kind of too overbearing, basically. So let's just take that back to where I had it. About between 12 and 2 is the perfect time, as far as I'm concerned, on the game. That's the girl's side, and then the only bit I have left to show you, we'll go through the Komodo's door, shall we? This is the outdoor area, and this is a bit different. This is a very, very much a bit different out here, but for obvious reasons. It needed to be a bit different because My outdoor plants have to be different because majority of the species of plants that we use indoors wouldn't survive outside. So we've had to choose different planting and whatnot. But again, I've basically followed the same steps as I followed with the indoor area. Build up those fake walls, use that mud, use the mulch, plant up, and then just go to town on the outdoor area as well. Now obviously from here we needed to just kind of be really clever about the way we disguised where zookeeper access and things were. So you can't see their access door, you can't see the zookeeper's access door. The fake walls kind of just let you get lost in the moment. You can see this door over here, but it's just one of those things. But your eye gets captured by a lot of other details anyway. Again, we've done like another little fallen design, and also this is kind of like a little overhang, so they wanted to get out of the sun, they can go in here, but also they do have a little caved area outside as well, so they can go in there. Someone did mention that on the Discord, make sure you put some shaded areas for the outdoor area for the animals to disappear in, but a lot of these areas are shaded anyway because of the way the plants are all grown and overhanging and whatnot. And then we did a different pool outside. I wanted something a little bit larger, and this is kind of what I came up with, and then just kind of like put all logs and rocks and all that sort of stuff around the edge to just really decorate it. Obviously we've got all their items to feed them and whatnot, all of their enrichment stuff, all scattered around the habitat. But yeah, that's that's their door there, so you get to see. That's kind of like where they come in, and then they can kind of work their way round the habitat basically. And that's where our gent would come in if he was ever allowed to have the outdoor area instead of the ladies. And so that is it, my friends. That is the Komodo Dragon Kingdom. And yes, it's taken me a long time to build, but I think you can all appreciate why it's taken me so long to build now. Just taking that whole design. I will post pictures on the socials in a couple of days' time after people have had a chance to digest the episode, but it's a thing of beauty. I'm just going to show you this view. This is the thumbnail view. Just look at that. Look at our zoo, gang. Look at what we have built over the last, I don't know, what is it, 10 or 11 months? It's getting there. Looking pretty special, this zoo. Okay, my friends, so we move on to what's happening next. Basically, this is me talking about what we're going to do next in TW. Now, I'm going to stick in this area for the moment because I want to talk about the DLC slightly, and then I kind of want to just pick up a few of the things that, I went over in the last planning episode. Now, I'm probably not going to move on to anything outside of what we'd planned, apart from one animal. I obviously have got to wait until the DLC comes out before I can do that. The new Wetland DLC is released on the 14th of April, I believe. So I've got to wait until that comes out. But I am going to add one of the animals to this area, and it's the buffalo. I think that the new buffalo is just made for this area. I really, really do. I think on the back here is a perfect place. So basically the way I've designed this is that we are going to have some keeper access here. We've got the keeper access here, but we're going to do some nice like trellis, some nice trellis fence and whatnot, just to kind of hide it a little bit. And then this here is obviously our level. And then we're going to have a little viewing area at the top here. And see this level here? This is probably going to be closer to the level that the hab will be at. So we're going to have like a viewing area to look at the buffalo from up here. It gives us a good excuse to kind of continue this, to come round this way. Potentially, I'm thinking of obviously, walking off the rock up here. But we'll have to see, because I might need keeper access this side, so we might just have to put the stairs here, but this would just be a nice little viewing area at the top of this hill for the buffalo. We would take the stairs down, and then we'd have maybe another kind of viewing area down here as well. You might be able to see both viewing areas. It is what it is, but it's just a different perspective, being a lot higher up than one that's closer to ground level, basically. But what I want to do with that is I want to do it with a very kind of similar design to this outdoor area with all the rocks and the logs and all that sort of stuff falling down. But I'd like to do like a big swampy, like a bit more natural, a bit like we did with the Okapi and the Bongo, a bit more of a natural kind of, water area for the animals, but do it a bit swampy, really, really lush with the vegetation, a bit overgrown, and then like a nice big open kind of like sandy, dry area for the buffalo with a big kind of holding area on the back, which is why it might be perfect to have the holding area over here, because then we can just take this, the fence and a wall and whatnot, and then we would have access back here, because I haven't worked any of that. I haven't worked any of the road system for the keepers, that we're going to need. And that's because I don't really know where it's going to go. We've got the access point here, and I'm probably going to have a staff access point at the back of the shops that we build over here, and that will probably join up, because it will be a good way to like get our staff moving a bit quicker. Our staff have to go up this at the moment, but I would like a bit of a quicker route to kind of just go there and then straight up. I think that might make sense, but it would make more sense because then we'd have a holding area for that animal. So I'm going to add that to the list of things to do, for this area. So that's going to be over here, basically. I still have the tapir to do in this area, but as I've built this, I don't know where I'm going to put it now. I really, really don't know where I'm going to put it. I feel like it's best suited potentially over here, but I'm really not sure. Like I've already said, I'm going to be doing like a big pit stop restaurant in here with a nice little seated area, all kind of in here, basically. That's where that's going to go. We're going to have some aviaries over here with a little bit of a runoff seated area and just a bit more planting. We've obviously got to plant all this in because we want that to be dense to give it that forest feel. So we've got that to do. So there's plenty of little jobs to do. A big job I have got to do that I keep putting off is backstage stuff. I still haven't got round to finishing it all. I need to add CCTV cameras. I need to add, all of the little items that go backstage, all the little bits of rubbish, all the piping, all the electric cables, all those little intricate bits of detail on the backs of buildings that bring them to life. Like I started over here, basically, as you can see, like putting the lights in, adding some wires, adding some pipes. I've added like a new ladder. I've added this here. I've added like a hay shed and a bit more detailing. I've started to do that. I've started to add those details in. But it's very much a work in progress. They're the really nitty gritty hard bits to do. Because I don't mean this in a horrible way, they're boring. They don't involve animals, so they tend to become really tedious jobs, basically. It's just one of those things, but it's definitely something we need to think about. Is all that backlot area over here and how that's going to work and how we're going to involve that, and how we're going to get the tapirs, to be involved as well. I do think potentially over here is the best place to put them. We do need a bit of a break. There's lots of animals in a very small area. I know we planned it this way because it's a city zoo, so space is a premium, isn't it? We've still got a lot of animals, by the way, gang, to do. And with every DLC, we always add animals, and there's quite a few animals I'm going to add from that DLC to the zoo. I'm not going to confirm it until the release of the DLC, but I'm probably going to sub the otters out for the new otters. I think they're more commonly found in zoos. The new small clawed otter. And then there's a few of the other animals I'm really interested in adding to this project. That's definitely going to happen there. But I think for next episode, I think I might just jump back to Africa. Just while we wait for the DLC, because I think once the DLC comes out, I'll jump straight back and I'll do that buffalo. I'll do the wild buffalo because I think that will help me finish that area off. It will help me basically just nail all of the back of that and make it look pretty, because at the minute it's very ugly, all the edges and whatnot. But just between now and the DLC coming out, I need something to be cracking on with, so I think potentially the African area. I am considering putting the wild dog here and the lions here, just because I want to try to achieve a a viewpoint where it appears as though the prey and the predator are in the same hab, like zoos do. And if I don't move those two animals around, I don't think I can achieve it. So there's potential to do the wild dog next, potential to do the rhino and ostrich habitat next. I'm not sure, but I do think potentially jumping back to Africa is the way to go. And the reason for that is this croc house is frustrating, very, very frustrating, but I'm not sure. There's lots and lots and lots I want to add to this zoo. There's lots I've got planned, there's lots I want to talk to you about, but I think we need to concentrate on the bits I have planned for now. But yeah, as I leave you with one final view, we head in to the cinematics. So there you have it, my friends. We are done and dusted for another episode of Tropical Wing Zoo. Enjoy the cinematics, my friends. I know this was a very long episode. If you've stuck with me for the entirety of the premiere and you've been chatting away, I do appreciate it very, very much. Trust me, my friends. But I am going to sign out now. Let me know what you think I should potentially crack on with. Remember, don't add any new animals or any new habitats. I'm kind of working to a plan at the moment. So any of the Adventure Africa stuff that I talked about, you know, potentially tell me which one you would like to see the most, potentially. Yeah, I've got lots to do. I've got lots of little jobs I can crack on with. So it's really, really not that much of a problem. But my friends, if you are new around here, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It's the best way to support the channel. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed this episode of Tropical Wings. Not only does it support the channel, but it helps more people find my little corner of the internet. You can find all the links to my socials, my Discord, and even that mod that I've been using for the game in the description box below. But until next time, stay safe, stay humble, and I will see you real soon.